happening?
Hey guys, I know many people like melee builds and often start as a melee build in a new game, but quickly realize that melee very often feels bad for various reasons. So I want to talk about Bladedancer build in last Epoch and how it is one of my most satisfying and smoothest melee build I have ever played, at least from my experience. This is Great Dagger Bladedancer. This is like ninja, dash in, dash out, great shadows to overlap some skills and trigger other mechanics. There are a lot of good synergy between skills and it makes sense to use multiple skills because of those synergy. On top of that, this playstyle feels so smooth and fluid, transitions between skills and dashing between enemies. As a melee you need to get close to targets fast and you got couple ways of doing that. You also have attack skills which makes you immortal during its animation, letting you avoid some big one-shots. All skills also feel satisfying to use. Flurry feels very fast and it costs no mana, so I can spam it for bosses while shredding enemy armor and ramping up more attack speed. Shadow Cascade can be procced with other skills and it works very well for clear speed if you can one-shot most weaker enemies, and so far it is one-shotting very reliably. Smoke Bomb can provide both defensive buffs and offensive debuffs on enemies. This build also has a lot of life sustain and not just leech, which is probably going to get nerfed in the near future. I have life gain on melee hit, life gain on glancing blows. I can gain life when I create shadows, which I actually don't. I also very easily reach 100% chance for glancing blows, which reduces damage taken by 35%. But I do not have dodge chance, but I never felt like I need it, at least not yet. I am level 78 and doing level 85 monoliths. This is not a fully min-max build, of course, and there are still many things that I don't know about this game, so don't take this as a build guide, but maybe just like a build showcase. I don't even remember if I ever played a more satisfying melee build in Path of Exile. Most good melee builds in Path of Exile are hitting the whole screen or have such far reach that it is hard to call it melee build, but this feels like a true melee build. I have also successfully rejected Poison build. I think it is part of the reason why this feels smooth, because Poison build I assume would be slower at clearing and would not feel as strong for clear speed, but I'm sure Poison build would be better for bossing because of ramp up poison stacks. This is just my assumption about Poison builds. I think I'm going to have to play some Ignite or Poison build next to see how they feel, because ailments are very different in this game than in Path of Exile. So now I will go over my passives and skill choices. Again, this is not a build guide, so I will only mention what I took and not at what level to take it, or even if it is the best option. From Rogue Tree I took attack speed, dual wield node, glancing blow chance, critical strike chance, and 1 point into mana on hit while using a skill that costs 0 mana, which is Flurry. This helps a bit to sustain mana, but I don't spam Shadow Cascade all that much, so mana is not really an issue this time. From Bladedancer I took Glancing Blow branch, but mainly for attack speed node since I can reach over 100% chance for Glancing Blow anyway, and I got very fast attack speed so I can proc this Dusk Shroud very easily. I skipped Flow branch and Poison and Bleed and went for Leech node, damage and speed nodes, then Critical Eye, which procs sort of like Assassin's Mark from PoE, which gives flat critical strike chance, which stacks, but even without that I got over 70% melee critical strike chance because node after that gives a lot of critical strike multiplier but it reduces non-critical damage. So I want to make sure that I crit as often as possible while clearing enemies, or else it won't feel smooth for the clear speed. Once I got enough chance for Glancing Blow, I started taking health on Glancing Blow node and some other defensive things like dodge, dex, health. Now for skills and specializations, I'm taking Flurry, Shift, Smoke Bomb, Shadow Cascade and Lethal Mirage. Flurry has a lot of attack speed and stacking buffs for more speed and damage, especially against bosses. Shadow Cascade is procced by Shift and Lethal Mirage and it works very well for clear speed, so I spec'd into it early on. For Shadow Cascade I am taking base critical, critical strike multiplier, area and scaling with attack speed node, so I don't want speed to be wasted on this skill. Also speccing into armor shred and big damage multiplier when enemies are on low health, which is 35% of HP. For shift ability I am speccing into some utility things, but very important is lasting presence, which leaves behind shadow and dancing shadows which auto cast Shadow Cascade, and all your shadows actually repeat your shadow cascade. This makes clearing very smooth and you can actually clear 2 enemy packs at once. I'm also taking Unseen Strike and Shadow Dagger branch, but I'm not sure if I have ever seen how Shadow Dagger looks like, so I'm not sure if they are doing good damage or not. For Lethal Mirage, I wanted a chance to also proc Shadow Cascade. It has only 9% chance, but it is per Mirage, so I am also trying to get as many Mirages as possible. Also going the other way to have 10% chance for a Mirage to leave a Shadow. This is a 10% chance per Mirage. And remember that shadows also proc your Shadow Cascade, which can auto-proc with the same skill. So sometimes if your chances are in your favor, you can do a lot of damage with Lethal Mirage, because of all the shadows and Shadow Cascade overlaps. Lastly, I took more damage nodes and without a trace node, which is like a Culling Strike in PoE but at 18% HP, which works very well against tougher enemies. Just finish them off with the Lethal Mirage. For Shadow Bomb, I'm still unsure, but main thing is increasing its duration and making it leave shadows. I also went through the Armor Shred and Shadow Dagger branch, but I'm very rarely using Shadow Bomb, so I'm really not sure about this. There are more things you can do with this, but I like current playstyle, so I didn't try to experiment too much. There is a unique dagger that lowers the cooldown on Lethal Mirage, so you could focus on that skill more, but would probably have to convert its damage into lighting. As for items, I'm gonna go over all of them real fast, but mainly I am getting resistances, of course, critical strike chance only a bit, then critical strike multiplier, damage while dual wielding, physical damage, other generic damage, dodge, some armor and some health. You can equip 2 big idols that give a lot of damage and increase critical strike chance with dual daggers. Other idols are mainly just to fill resistances, health and dodge. Since dodge chance is converted into twice as much glancing blow chance, and without other buffs I have 77% glancing blow chance, but against bosses it goes to like 140%, so dodge is mostly just to make you feel a bit tankier, I guess, for clear speed. Oh, from blessings I got a couple resistance points, so those made a bit easier to cap my resistances. And I think that covers everything. 7 minutes video is going to be bad for my ad revenue, so to fill another minute, I will mention that you can buy games through my Nexus store. Nexus also partnered with Grinding Gear Games and sells some Armor MTX packs. So if you're looking for some games or PoE MTXs, consider using my Nexus store. Just search games or MTXs and see if they are available. Prices are not localized yet, so it may work in your favor. If you are buying something through it, I thank you because it does support my channel quite a lot. I will most likely do at least one more last Epoch build before diving back into PoE, so thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.